What if you had the power to give life even in death? Every one of you has the opportunity to make this miracle happen. By deciding to be a donor, you give the gift of hope for thousands of individuals awaiting organ transplants, and hope for the millions of individuals whose lives could be enhanced through tissue transplants. Each day, an average of 79 people receive organ transplants, while an average of 17 people die each day while waiting for transplants that can't take place because of the shortage of donated organs. As of May 16, 2014, there are 78,837 U.S. patients on the transplant waiting list. Another name is added to the waiting list every 12 minutes. That's nearly 3,000 new patients per month. Of the 78,837 patients waiting for transplants, over 10% of them are children under the age of 18. More than 6,500 each year die before they are able to receive a transplant. A living donor has the ability to donate a kidney, part of the liver, part of the lung or intestine, and blood or bone marrow. And you can do this more than once, which is a great thing to be able to do. More than 6,000 living donations occur each year, and most living donations are happen between loved ones or close family members, but some do take place where both patients are unknown to each other. I'm going to tell you a story about a little girl named Penny. She's 2 years old. She was a vivacious, loving, fun, average 2-year-old, and one day she got really sick. And in the hospital, they determined that her heart was swollen and enlarged. And no matter what they did, they could not get the swelling to go down. They couldn't get any of the edema around it to leave. And the fluid ended up filling up in her lungs and encapsulating her heart. And at this point, they had to put her on a respirator, and her name was added to the list for a heart transplant. She was in the hospital for close to a full year, and they had, after they had figured out what was going on with her heart, they had inserted 4 large tubes into her abdomen, where 2 of them were acting. One was in the left ventricle, one was in the right ventricle, and they were pumping as an artificial heart for her. And this went on for well over a year in the hospital. She couldn't eat. From the day she went in there, she wasn't able to eat. They had her feeding her through her nasal tube, which had horrific drawbacks to that and made her sick. She vomited during the night, mainly during the night, but she was sick every single day and still had a little smile on her face and a little twinkle in her eye and still loved to color and have fun and play games. And finally, March 10th, 2010, this is a little story, they found a heart, and the transplant went well, and she's doing great ever since. She's doing wonderful. Her body accepted the heart, and unfortunately somebody lost a child in order for Penny to be saved. But again, what an incredible story. There wasn't, the little girl that passed away hadn't been a donor, her parents hadn't donated her organs, Penny might not be here. Although I have told you the whole story, not the whole story, but most of the story about Penny, I strongly suggest, and I ask you to please log on to YouTube and look up Penny's Heart and watch the video. It's about 7 minutes long, and if there's even the slightest bit of hesitation or questioning becoming a donor, watch this video. This video will forever change the way it will change you, period. It is very sad. You will cry. Well, I bawled my eyes out, but it's a beautiful story, and the outcome is positive, and wonderful, and it just shows you what we can do. Being an organ donor is such a generous gift, and you're a lifesaver. The gift is the most amazing gift you can give anyone. And I know for some, it may be difficult to think about what happens to your body after you die, let alone think about your organs and your tissues and what's going to happen with them. Think about it this way. The lives saved from organ transplants, tissue transplants, living donor transplants, they all have names. They are children, they are sisters, they are brothers, they are aunts, they are uncles, they're grandparents, they're the teachers, they're your firefighters, excuse me, business owners. They laugh, they love, they feel pain and guilt and sorrow just like we all do. They are us, they are your community. Nobody wants to be on that list. But you, we, all of us can change that by donating your vital organs. You have the ability to change and save so many lives. So how can you do this? There's several ways to start doing this. Register as an organ donor. Many websites, I will hand them out afterwards. Main one I would suggest is organdonor.gov. You can log on there. It took me 30 seconds logging on there. It takes you to your state. You fill out your information and submit, and you're on the registry. That's all it takes. Declare it on your driver's license. Another big thing is to let your family know your wishes. Let them know that your decision to donate. So they are made aware of this, because often family members are asked in a certain situation what your wishes were. Talk about your decision. Encourage others to do so. One question when it comes to religion or spiritual beliefs, all major religions approve of organ eye tissue donation and transplantation, and they even encourage it. They believe it's the most significant gift one human being can give to another. If you have questions or concerns, you should discuss this with your religious or spiritual leader. Imagine this. After a transplant of a vital organ, the average survival rate is 80%. That's huge. While 90% of people say they support organ donation, only 27% have joined the organ donor register. You have the potential to save lives. People are dying and suffering, and we have the chance to save them and give them a second chance at life. The statistic in 2010 reported that the United States had 2.5 million deaths. Could you imagine if they were all donors? We have the ability to save lives. Thank you.